As we talk about the great content shift today here with Guy Hellier from OpenText, he's a digital media solutions expert. Guy, I want to talk about, I'll use a personal experience. I came from the mainstream media world most of my career, from the massive broadcasting operations. Well, again, now in the great content shift, what used to cost thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to create content and get it out, now can be done from a desktop or a laptop and be done with software, and anybody within your organization can do that. So it really has to start within your organization with a different way of thinking right now, doesn't it, when you talk about content creation right through to distribution?
It really does, and our customers are doing that today. And a great example is a studio where when they produce and finish titles for one language, they're managing all the elements for localization, so they can actually go automate plugging in of new elements to create those new international titles to then go to market very quickly, really all together in a nonlinear workflow.
Great example. I'll give you one from my world if you want to think of another one, and that's coming from the mainstream world. I mean, I've worked for probably every major network, kind of a vagabond, but when I did, I've watched how all their systems worked and the satellites and all of that. And now we come here, we start the Pulse Network. We use a NewTek TriCaster, which is basically a studio in a box. We can do everything with that machine in our studio or out of our studio to create content and make it broadcast quality production content that we can send out. Again, companies can do that with a machine like the NewTek TriCaster, with the tools to be able to do it, but again, the mindset to be able to think of it that way.
Absolutely, and what comes out of that, you want to keep that pristine, best quality for editing that comes out of it, because you never know how you want to use those parts, again, those elements, to package them back together. And who knows 10 years from now people will be coming back to watch this conversation just because we're that right.
To me, I think with a lot of companies, if they're just starting out or if they haven't thought about a system and an end-to-end solution, it's hard. But to me, it gets easier once you put a process in place and once you start doing it. To your point specifically, you create some content and you'll start thinking back to, oh, we had Guy talking about this and that can work and for this customer or this client. It gets easier by taking a step back, doesn't it?
It really does. And we find our customers find that once they've put a media management platform in place and they're managing those core elements that they can repurpose, they're really able to turn on new business models just by repackaging or putting content together in ways they hadn't really thought about before. Whereas without that platform in place, it would have been a very expensive re-engineering, so to speak, of their business model and their systems to be able to accomplish that.
Guy Hellier is a digital media solutions expert for OpenText. OpenText, one of the companies that is keeping up with all that's going on with the great content shift, and they will be exhibiting at the 2012 NAB show. This is all part of our discussion about the great content shift.